Hi, everyone. It's Coram here, and today is Wednesday, December 4th. We've got a look at the stock market today for you, along with Ken Shreve, my colleague. He's joining me today to break down all the market action. Ken, what do you have for us today?
Well, a great day of outperformance for the Nasdaq Composite, helped by some great tech earnings. I want to start by taking a look at CrowdStrike and the security software group. They reported earnings a little bit earlier in the week, but CRWD is the ticker there. Also, Expedia, online travel firm, EXPE, and finally Manhattan Associates, enterprise software stock that looks like it's trying to get going here.
All right. Well, we will take a look at those stocks. But first, we want to analyze the major indexes. A strong day for the market led by technology. The tech heavy NASDAQ up 1.3% on the day. Meanwhile, the Dow was up about 0.7%. The S&P up 0.6%, and small caps up about 0.5%. So this bull market rally just continues on here, Ken. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, 8 out of 9 up days for the Nasdaq Composite. I'm trying to think, it's probably what 5% above its 50-day moving average at this point. So not quite stretched at this point. But again, 8 days out of 9. Probably expect to see a little pullback at some point. But underneath the surface, it's obviously Salesforce in the Dow Enterprise software stock that had a nice earnings report late yesterday. And also in the chip group, it was Marvell Technology, MRVL, sort of being talked about as another formidable player in AI chips, and both of these stocks held gains. And it wasn't just enterprise software stocks that rallied; it was just broad-based rally in the software sector, and particularly chip designers had a good day in the chip sector. But yeah, that Nasdaq up 1.3%. Good volume push
Mhm.
on the Nasdaq as well. So nice accumulation day.
Yeah. And you mentioned in terms of how far it's extended above the 50-day line. Today it closed 5.9% above that level. And then going back to July, we got 8.9% above the
Hmm.
50-day line. In terms of the historical norms, the levels that we typically look at, I know this is something that Chris Gessel, our chief content officer, likes to mention quite a bit when we do get an extended market. He usually looks for an extension of about 7% on the NASDAQ as a level to which you may expect some sort of pullback, and then 5% on the S&P 500. Again, that's just versus historical levels that you tend to see. That the S&P is about 3.9% above the 50-day line. But you're absolutely right, Ken. I mean, with how many days up in a row, it wouldn't be surprising to see some sort of pause or pullback. But also, because we've been in a raging bull market, I also wouldn't be surprised to see that momentum continue.
Yeah, I mean these uptrends, when they're as strong as this one is, they can keep right on going. We've seen a lot of big stock market leaders that really started. A lot of them started moving in the first part of September, but they just continue to mark all-time highs. So it's been a really strong market. A theme that we've been talking about is you just want to be very careful not to chase the performance. People may not own Palantir; they see it going up all the time, and they buy it when it's too late to buy, for example. So there's a lot of extended stocks out there, but a few stocks today that we found that seem to be setting up, and maybe some other names out there giving some alternate entries. So uptrend looks great. Nasdaq again probably at a position where we could see a little bit of a pullback, but when the scope of the Nasdaq's gains, you could come down to these the 10-day, the 21-day line, and it would still be in a very nice
Yeah.
uptrend. So we'll see how it plays out. But another bullish day today, and I like the volume that came behind the
Mhm.
move in the Nasdaq today as well.
Yeah. Thoughts on blue chips, Ken? You
Yeah,
mentioned CRM.
yeah, well, the Dow 45,000.
Yeah.
First close above 45,000. So these indexes have really not had too many problems punching through these round numbers. So first close above the 45,000 level for the Dow, and CRM is a Dow Jones component, and big reason why this index did well today. Didn't mention breadth. I have to call it disappointing again on the Nasdaq. We weren't even close to 2 to 1 positive. We were slightly positive breadth on the Nasdaq. We'll take it. Slightly negative on the NYSE. So
Mhm.
overall, I think the breadth picture looks pretty good. But again, when the Nasdaq's up 1.3%. I'm used to seeing advancers beating decliners by usually by at least 2 to 1. So it was positive today, just not even 2 to 1 positive.
I hear ya. All right. Well, let's talk about small caps because as we've seen this rotation back into mega cap tech, it does appear that small caps have been taking a little bit of a back seat. You see that in the relative strength line, though it is overall, I would say, holding pat at those recent highs.
Yeah, really holding close to that pivot there of 242.39. Two down days in a row on Monday and Tuesday, and it kind of held support at the 10-day moving average, and it lagged today, but found support where it should. So I think uh, all the three major stock indexes and the Russell 2000 still look quite strong here.
Okay. And let's take a look at the 10-year treasury yield because we had a downside reversal today, perhaps fueling the fire once again here for equities as we've seen this break in the uptrend over the last couple of weeks. It seems like that has helped the stock market rally.
Yeah, this 10-year yield closed right at a key support level. You can see here it's right around 4.117%. But an early jump in the 10-year Treasury yield even before the market open, and we got some economic data that was weaker than expected. ISM services was a little bit soft, and of course, the ADP employment report, which is the latest read on private payrolls. That was weaker than expected headed into Friday's jobs report. So some volatility in that 10-year yield. We'll see if support holds around 4.17, but that was quite a downside reversal in that yield today for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, it was. Okay. And then in terms of sector action, here's a look at XLE energy stocks coming off a bit today with XLE down 2.4%. So that's a pretty big drop here. Now below the low of the gap up from the election. Still not quite filling the gap from before the election, but quite a sell-off here today in energy. Ken, what's going on?
Well, it comes ahead of a key OPEC meeting tomorrow that was postponed, but OPEC is meeting tomorrow. Now, in early November, OPEC postponed plans again. They want to gradually increase output, but they're reticent to do it, especially after a day like today, because there's still a fairly adequate supply of oil out there. We did get some inventory data. It was either this morning or late yesterday that showed an unexpected drawdown. But overall, oil supplies look pretty good. So it looks like OPEC is probably going to. Postpone plans again to increase output, most likely till the end of the year and maybe even into 2025. We were looking, at OII. Oceaneering in the field services group. Here's a stock that was, setting up nicely. Looked like it might try to take a leadership role in this market, but boom, just like that.
Mhm.
Harsh selling, higher volume decline, and just comes right down to the 21-day moving average. So a little bit of technical damage here,
Yeah.
but nothing too severe.
Okay, and then let's also take a look at the CIBR cybersecurity ETF. We're going to take a look at one cyber name right after this, but let's start with the broader look at the cybersecurity space, up 2.1% today. So seeing some nice strength here.
Yeah, Okta has been a laggard in the group, but that was another tech company that reported strong earnings either late yesterday or earlier this morning. Nice move. Tried to move above that 200-day moving average. Got turned away. But yeah, this CIBR. I noticed the swing trader team put this on today and looked like an actionable entry. A little short consolidation here, breaking out over that 65 level. So cybersecurity stocks continue to look pretty good. I think Sentinel One is reporting after the
Yeah.
close today. I'm not sure if it's very liquid
Ooh,
in after hours, but
yeah.
Sentinel One's been a decent performer in the group, but looks like that one's under some pressure in after hours.
Yeah, we'll have to see how tomorrow goes for this stock and the cybersecurity group. Let's check back in on Crowdstrike, a stock that was such a leader, then got slammed really hard in July with that blue screen debacle that they had. It's been undergoing some repair work ever since, and it did weather its recent earnings report. A strong day today, up 4%, bouncing off of the 21-day line this week, Ken. So, can this be considered the cybersecurity leader once again?
Wow, that's a tough call. I did want to bring it up. Just noting that when it had that nasty sell off in the summertime, that was when they had a software glitch that caused all sorts of problems with Delta. These companies are in court. Delta said the glitch cost them $500 million, so that hasn't been resolved yet, and so that caused a 50% pullback, pretty much from 398 down to 200. Now the rally back obviously has been impressive. It goes from basically 201 back up to over 350. So you had a buy signal a few weeks back when it crossed that 323.94 pivot. The recent action to me looks just like an alternate handle area. So this one, you could take a shot on if it breaks out over that 377.42 area. But after a little bit of a pullback here, it looks like a pretty well formed handle, and that relative strength line starting to get back closer to highs. So this one could still work. They're trying to put the delta problems behind them, but you can see the revenue growth in the latest quarter up 29%. So they're still selling a lot of product, and still a
Right.
name I'm watching in the group for sure.
Okay. Let's move on over to travel with Expedia looking quite strong in the last couple of months. It had a gap up on earnings and it's been able to mostly hold that. Does look like it's on the verge of clearing a short base here, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, you'd really like to see stocks consolidate for enough time to form a proper base, but the market is so strong right now that this
Right.
one, arguably gave an early buy signal today, but just by breaking out over some of those recent highs. No volume in the stock. It's been rallying in light volume, but like the setup here, I mean, it's a stock that's been a tremendous winner after that initial breakout over 142.42. It formed a little handle at 164.65, broke out from that, and it's still showing strength here. So if we look at the weekly chart for Expedia, and again, a company that the revenue growth has been decelerating in recent quarters, but this is an online travel firm right along with Booking that's showing a lot of relative strength in this market. It's in a good the travel booking group ranks 38th out of 197. So good tight trading up near highs. This setup could yield another breakout.
Okay. And then let's round things out with a look at MANH. This is Manhattan Associates in the Enterprise Software Group. You looked at this one for us on IBD Live this morning with an early entry on Tuesday, and then today getting above a round number.
Yep, across the 300 level, it got close to that 307.50 high, and you can see it backed off highs. So I think this one is worth watching. Obviously, we've seen so much leadership in the enterprise software group, and there are certainly a lot of names in the group that have better relative strength ratings than Manhattan Associates does at 81. Still not bad, and I still look at this stock as a breakout candidate. Does have a composite rating of 97, so plenty of positive qualities from a fundamental and technical perspective. So we'll see if this one's going to drift lower here for a little bit, maybe form a handle, but I'm going to put this one on breakout watch as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ken, for all of those insights today. As always, spot on, eagle eyes. We appreciate it.
No problem, Ellie.
All right. Thanks once again for tuning in, everyone. We will see you tomorrow morning on IBD Live, investors.com/IBD Live. But before that, we have our weekly podcast that's live on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. So that's coming up here soon, live on YouTube, and then posted to investors.com/videos after that, along with your listening platform of choice, since it is a podcast after all. So make sure to check that out. We have Anne Marie Band on the show. I love the way that she analyzes charts, looks at bars and resistance and support levels over various time frames. So always a fascinating discussion with her, an options expert. So I think Justin's the perfect guy to chat with her and talk about the strategies she's been using in the market as of late. So that's happening live at 5. So we'll see you in the morning at IBD Live, investors.com/IBD Live. And then, of course, right back here tomorrow after the close. Thanks for tuning in.